Welcome to the Eternal Cyclist. Where are we going now?
Okay, we left Hungaria. We're entering Slovakia today. We're going to hit the Aravello 6 along the way, so it should be a good ride. Well, we made it to here today, so it was a good ride. But okay, once again, about 6:30 in the morning, so it's bright out. We get our setup here. Today's route, we're going to have to break down camp, eat some breakfast, got that sitting over there. And basically today's route is going to bring us across the rest of the mountains here in Hungary, down back towards the river to the Danube. At the Danube we'll pick up the EV6. The EV6 goes from ocean to ocean, they say. Basically goes from the Black Sea up to the Lake Zurich area, and then from Lake Zurich area it takes another river back down to the other side towards France, and it goes there. So that's the EV6, and we're going to get to the river part, and hopefully it'll be more flat. And today, you can actually see my breath. It's colder than usual, but we're up in the mountains, so. Decided to try the drone a little bit, but the drone ended up hitting the bike at the end here before I took off to the street. So that's that. Here we're riding down to the street and the path, so the drone did okay for following me, so I guess it does work sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. We'll have to play with it more. Okay, it's about 7:30 now, a little over an hour and something to get ready. We're headed down the hill now, so we should be by a little after lunchtime down at the river, hopefully. A little past lunch, get down there and then start on the river route back on the Danube. Europe. The bike always has a fun time with these. They designed these, I don't know how. You're supposed to go through this. The train had just passed, so as you hear, I bang my bike. Not the easiest in the world getting around these things. It's not the bags, it's the next part. But it's the railroad crossing, so I'm gonna scooch out and around. I shouldn't do it, but I'm gonna anyways, because going through those just is a nightmare. Here again is one of the things I really don't like about the European bike trails. So here we go, we cut up. And at least they stopped. It's not like Asia. They do stop here, so that's the good thing. Asia, it would have never stopped. So we're on the bike trails. These things kind of bring us different directions depending on where you're going throughout cities and stuff. So, okay, it says it dead ends, but then it's okay for bike to go this way. So, we're on the bike trails. Probably one of the nicest things about the bike trails are they got some funky things, but they do have picnic benches and other things alongside the way to get across. Okay, having to redo this because I missed a bunch of footage, but I don't like these little things that they put in the middle of the bike routes here. Boom, boom, almost fall over. But it's the way it goes. But they do have some nice huts alongside the way, so that's good. Yeah, I'm not going to add all the voiceovers to this video. Just because it's running late, I got to get on the road. The wind is going to pick up again, and my priority is riding. It's not really sometimes doing this. But to share the footage is what I want to share. I did this a lot of 360 yesterday, so it just ended up being a lot, and I messed up. I really did mess up because I couldn't put them all back in order because of copying them and pasting them and re-editing them and then mixing them up. If I had time in a studio, yeah. I think one of the hardest things here is going to be figuring out if I take video like this and I talk to you guys and
tell you what's going on here. We're following a nice little lake. These are all the little fishing huts that people have along the lakes. People in these countries love to fish like crazy. So these bike routes go on and off, fishing things, what are considered more slow riding areas. I'm testing the Boya mic again, just because I got to find out where the sound level, where I'm going to put it, and everything else is working at its best. See a fisherman down there, and that kind of stuff. The nice thing about, like, say, these type routes is look at all these places I can stop and picnic if it was that time of the day. Summertime, you get a ton of picnickers on places like this. The views aren't always 100% the greatest. Nice little factory there, but just the same, look at the picnic spots. You can sit, have a nice picnic lunch, and this kind of stuff. But as you see, the bike trail just goes around and around. I'm going to see if I can slow this to 2 times and then add the 360 to it with the same voice and see if that works. One of the things that kind of slows me down sometimes, as you see, there's 2 bike routes. One goes in this way, another one goes down this way. So quite often I've got to double check which one I'm going on to make sure I'm going the right way, because they both look like they go the right way, but the one is the one I actually got to take. I got to take this lower one down here. All right, I've come to the conclusion with this mic type thing. Putting on the Boya mic every time when you come up to something like this and you want to get a shot of coming across a little bridge or something else, it means I gotta stop and figure out the mic. I can't leave it on because it drains the battery of the phone, so gotta start looking at options and working it out. But that was a nice little bridge to cross. One of the things I'm going to have to talk to everybody about is when you compare the riding in Europe to the riding in Asia. I mean, it really is comparing apples to oranges. I mean, look at these bike trails. They've got benches parked here, places to pull out, bridges that you cross, beautiful scenery, little hideouts, parking benches, route plans, talking about the stuff, all that good stuff, compared to Asia.
Yikes on this
we
little
ride
pathway.
on the street more.
Narrow and cut. Maybe one day I'll get better at this editing thing, but for now, I'm just gonna do what I'm doing and post these videos, and hopefully you like them, and at least you see the scenery and you see the other stuff. But the footage talking, I guess I'll have to work on it more, learn some more stuff. But like I say, my priority is the ride, my enjoying of my trip, sharing with you when I can. But if it's gonna be stressful and something like that, and not work out because of the weather and other things, I'm definitely gonna drop it off. But you know, you see here where I've got to drive right past people that walk over these crossways, different things. So it's a lot of different things, but mostly I'm showing the pathways, walkways, going into villages and stuff like that, so it is good. And you realize you put some clips in out of order. It's just really hard to tell when you're doing this in a hurry and stuff like that. It's 7:30, I've got to get on the road, so I've got to call this good. I've got to export it, get it ready, because if I do find a place to upload it, then I can upload it today. If not, and I don't have it ready, then there is no exporting and saving it and posting it today. So priorities, plus I'm already dropped 22% of my battery pack just to edit and change this around for the last 20 minutes, so that's not a good thing. Here you see a castle. I'm gonna go into a village up around the corner. The village has got some nice scenery, this and that, and then it's the bridge to Slovak. So hopefully in between the mixing of the two videos, you'll know what I'm doing.
Okay, it was a little bit of a wrong turn and everything else, but as you can see by that church that's behind me, well worth the wrong turn and going down a little bit. I'll catch the main road back here again and get back on path. So often I gotta check the maps because of what's what and what's where. Getting to these things and deciding when it's appropriate to cross and not. Sometimes you see the cars stop, sometimes they don't. So you never know. It is Europe, but I gotta go a different route because I missed a turn. So I'm gonna go down this way. Yeah, and there's the bike sign saying Centrum that way, and that's kind of where I gotta go. Is it? Yeah. Right. And the hard way. Okay, pick up supplies real quick, load up the bike, then it'll be across the river to Slovakia and the bike trail. Again, it's a littles, and I'll be posting my YouTube, so check my mail and everything because I can get Wi-Fi here, so it's a quick stop. Now I gotta find a toilet and move on. Alright, welcome back to the EView 6. Now we're gonna have to go around and catch across here, and soon we'll be headed into Slovakia. Alright, like I said before, one of the things I hate about the lot of these bike paths here in Europe is you just cut across streets. Sometimes you're lucky, you get to go like I just did. Other times, it's not. But this should be now headed towards Slovakia. This is how easy it is to cross into another country in Schengen. Across the bridge we go. I don't know. We raised up pretty high. Now I'm gonna see how it's gonna be easy camping here. The wind is even stronger up here than it was on the underside there. So now we seem to be above. This came up about 50 plus meters or so. It's late and there's not many options along this. This thing stays up on high and you have to go down the path. And then if you're lucky, there's a bridge like up there that you can cross to the other side where there's some forest area. And I'm hoping inside there I can find camping. I'm gonna have to. It's about that time of the night. Well, they got a couple shelters here, and then a couple up over there. But the sun's going down soon, so I gotta make a decision, but no place to hang a hammock. That's kind of a drag. The wind is so atrocious, barely can cook. Keep cooking down there. Gonna have to sit up there in the corner to eat. Make my soup, chips, cheese. Call it a meal.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.